And that was, wasn't it? That was from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And the song was called Time Warp. Absolutely awesome tune. And if that didn't get your blood going, I don't know. I don't know if you're okay. I'd see a doctor. I know Chuck, our country DJ, he messaged me, and apparently he's got some moves going on. He said, dun 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 dun, let me look here. Let's hope it's not X-rated, because I didn't actually look at all of it yet. Oh, there we go. Too bad you don't have a camera on me, he says. He's doing the time warp from home in his chair. So how cool is that? And that's just a friendly reminder, too, that Chuck is on with this country show at 1 o'clock. So, what'd you think of that classified interview? That was really interesting, wasn't it? And you know what? There comes a time where we just need to own stuff and realize that, you know, our court system and whatnot is flawed, to say the least, and changes need to be made, right? That's the thing. Taking charge. You know, we're not perfect. There's lots of flaws in the system, this is for sure. And I only have till 12:30, so I can't talk about all of them. But, you know, we need to own it and address it and move forward. So I think that's pretty cool that he's doing that. And, yeah, I really enjoyed that interview. So I hope you did too. And now we're going to enjoy the good news together. So much good stuff going on in the world. Oh my goodness. Lots of stuff. You just have to look for it. And I hope you've taken a second to put some positive stuff in your news feed. If you're on social media, you know, we can get inundated with so much junk, so much negativity. People who are just, I mean, you know, what they want to post, it's their page. That's absolutely cool. Like, rock on. If you think, you know, you're serving some purpose by posting drama or gory stuff or abuse or whatever, but if you feel like you don't want that in your news feed, just go on their page and unfollow them. They'll never know. It's not an insult. You're not unfriending them. You're just saying, hey, dude, I just don't want your stuff on my news feed because it brings me down, right? You know, you start scrolling through. You know, I understand when people say, I'm not on Facebook because it's all drama, or I'm not on Facebook because it brings me down, it sucks the life out of me. Well, unfortunately, your Facebook isn't set up to serve you. And that's what you need to do. You need to unfollow the drama people and follow some positive groups. Go through and find whatever it is you're interested in. Are you interested in, I don't know, whatever, craft beer? Look up craft beer. Are you interested in a good time on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night in Sarnia? Then you should like the Bottoms Up page. See, there you go. Good example, right? Or the Positive Power page, or whatever, you know, whatever you're into. Do you like, you know, cuddly babies? Find some cuddly baby groups. I don't know. Everybody's different. But one of the things I like is positive news, but I also keep it real. So I like a bunch of positive news sites, but I also follow sites on chemtrails. I follow sites on aliens, all sorts of different things. You know, just different things that interest me that I feel that, you know, I need to be kept in the loop on. And you know me, I mean, I'm a documentary junkie, so I can't get enough of that stuff. I'm always feeding my brain. So, time to feed my brain some more. This is pretty cool, the first story. Hawaiian lawmakers have just passed a ban on the sale and distribution of sunscreen containing chemicals that are toxic to coral reefs. The ban specifically targets oxybenzone and octinoxate, two chemicals that are found in common sunscreens. According to the 2015 study, the ingredients cause coral DNA to mutate while it's still in its larval stage, which prevents it from growing properly and makes it more susceptible to bleaching. If Governor David Ige approves the legislation as expected, it would make Hawaii the first American state and the first region in the world to ban the ingredients. Amazingly, this is the first in the world law, says Senator Mike Gabbard, told the Honolulu Star Advertiser, in an email. So Hawaii is definitely on the cutting edge by banning these dangerous chemicals in sunscreens. When you think about it, our island paradise, surrounded by coral reefs, is the perfect place to set the gold standard for the world to follow. This will make a huge difference in protecting our coral reefs, marine life, and human health. Some experts oppose the ban because they believe it will lead to more people neglecting sunscreen altogether, which could lead to skin cancer. The ban, however, does not affect sunscreen that is brought into the state by tourists, nor does it apply to prescription sunscreens. Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? And so should we think outside the box a little bit and think, geez, if those two chemicals will hurt, common sense, right? They just don't hand it out at the door, do they? So if those two chemicals will hurt the coral, chances are it'll hurt humans, right? A lot of people are realizing that sunscreen is not good for you. Your skin is one of your biggest organs. So, you slap that stuff on, it's full of chemicals, and which it serves a purpose, I get it, but a lot of people don't realize after you do that, when you get out of the sun, you really need to wash that off, like thoroughly wash it off. And I think that's where the confusion comes in. Is it even in the fine print? I have no idea. But that's what you should do. Just note to self, or source some natural stuff. I know Sandy and I have talked about that on In the Know, on our Sunday night show, that there's lots of ways that you can make it. And I think if you look it up, there are tons of recipes online. I believe they're usually coconut oil based, but don't quote me on that. Look it up yourself. Don't quote me on anything I say. Look it up yourself. That's what not saying I'm saying things wrong, just saying validate stuff yourself. This is the world we live in. We got to read the labels. We got to validate, because you never know. Fake food, fake news, fake stuff. So do that though. Check out some chemical-free totally losing the word here. Sunscreen, right? Check that out for yourself and your kids. Next story. This is pretty interesting. Japanese bus drivers are using an unusual community-based strike tactic to demand better job security from their employers. The drivers working for the Ryobi Group in Okayama declared a labor strike after a rival bus company opened up overlapping bus routes that charged cheaper fares. When Ryobi would not comply with their demands for better job security, the drivers decided to take an experimental angle with their strike. They would continue to drive their usual routes, except they would not be accepting anyone's fare money. Whoa. Ideally, the free fare tactic will prevent management from claiming that the workers are putting their own needs before the community's. Additionally, online news outlet Japan Today says that the free bus rides will help preserve the company's relationship with their passengers in the face of a rival company giving cheaper rides. Time will tell whether the tactic succeeds, but many social media readers are praising the drivers for their unconventional approach to demanding worker safety while simultaneously serving their community. Well, isn't that interesting? We'll have to follow that one and see how it shakes out, because it can go, a variety of different ways. Right off the top of my head, my thoughts are, not collecting money, not able to pay anyone. I don't know, just saying. So that's interesting. We'll have to see how that works. And this is really cool, the last story of the good news. While a $5 lottery scratch-off ticket may not seem like a hefty tip for an Uber ride, it eventually paid off for the lucky driver who received it. A Colorado driver named James P. was given a $5 super special ultimate bingo scratch ticket as a tip from one of his regular passengers. When he scratched off the prize, he found that he'd won $30. He then used his winnings to buy 6 more scratch-off tickets. Since James continued to win small prizes from the tickets, he kept using his winnings to buy more scratch-offs, until finally his efforts paid off. 6 weeks after receiving the first ticket, he hit the $140,000 jackpot. James said that he plans on giving some of his winnings to his parents and using some of the funds to fix up his car. The driver also says that he's given rides to the generous passenger several times in the past, but has not seen the man since he gave James the scratch-off. I haven't been able to find him yet and tell him about this, but I hope I do, James said. Well, I have no doubt that if he sees this guy's picture, which is on the article, that the guy would step forward, right? So how cool is that? You know, and just having that faith, just buying more tickets, buying more tickets. And it just goes to show anybody can win. You know, people are self-fulfilling prophecies when they go up and they say, I don't know why I keep buying tickets. I'm never going to win. Well, you can win. Anybody can win. And funny enough, what feels like a million years ago when I was married, my ex-husband actually, I was actually pregnant with my daughter Nicole. And he won $25,000 on a bingo scratch ticket, ironically enough. And it was funny because, just a short story here, so he used to go bowling every whatever night it was. And so I was pregnant and I had my 2 sons, and so I wasn't with him that particular night. So he went out and he got absolutely hammered at the bowling alley. Just a mess. He comes home and I'm pissed. I'm pissed. It's late. I don't even know what time it is, but it was late. And I remember he came in and I'm fat and pregnant and miserable. And it was in November and I had Nicole in February. So I'm pretty big. And I got these 2 little kids, you know, they would have been like 3 and 6. So I'm big and busy and grumpy. And he comes in and he's hammered. We have a little argument. I learned a long time ago not to argue with drunk people. So I didn't argue with him. He just came in and probably had a couple nasty words that I can't repeat on here. And he passed out face first on the couch. And I'm sitting there and I'm mad. And he always bought bingo tickets. And I remember looking at his bingo ticket sticking out of his back pocket. And I remember thinking to myself, you bastard, I should scratch your ticket. And I never did. See, because